Page 11, When the Saints Go Marching In. This is a bit challenging for some people because now the hands are really starting to do more and more stuff different at the same time. We have to develop this independence of the hands. This takes time to do. We'll work on it as time goes on. You'll notice it has an incomplete measure at the beginning because in 4/4 time, every measure's got to have 4 counts. There's only 3 quarter notes in that. So that is an incomplete measure. Anything less than a full measure is an incomplete measure. Duh. Well, look at the bottom. You see the last measure has 1 count in it. That's beat 1, and then we're coming in on beat 2 at the beginning. So let's look this over and see what we get. It's 4 lines long, treble bass clef, 4/4 time signature. We already know there's an incomplete measure at the beginning. We have quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. Got them all here, and I see a bunch of staccatos and everything. All right. Got tied notes too. We've had tied notes before, I hope. Have we not had tied notes before? Well, we're going to have to talk about tied notes. I don't recall if we've had them or not. I'm going to pretend we haven't, and we'll introduce them here. So right hand first, just make sure we know what it's doing, and then we'll tackle the left. The thumb here, we're in C position, and it's 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Make sure you rest on that 1. Okay? Second line, last measure. You have a whole note, and you got that curved line under it that goes to the next D, the next one, and the next line. That's another thing this curved line is used for, is a tie. It simply means you hold the note down for the length of both notes. You see, in music, we have a problem. Well, we have a lot of problems, but the one I'm referring to is that according to the time signature, there's a limit to how long a note can last. In other words, 4/4 time signature, no note can be longer than 4 counts. Just the way it is. So if you want it to last longer than 4 counts, this is how they do it. They take another note and they tie the two together, and it makes it sound like it lasts longer. So that whole note at the end of the second line lasts 6 counts because it's tied to a half note. You just hold it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea? Look at the end of the third line. Last measure, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's tied to the next one, so that's going to last 5 counts. I usually say tie when I'm doing this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2. And then at the end, the last 2 measures, that whole note's tied. You're going to hold that down for 5 counts and then lift up. That's how ties work. Only 2 notes at a time can be tied. If they want more than that, they have to link them together. We'll see that eventually. And it has to be the same note, because if it's a different note, it's not a tie, it's a slur. If it's a slur, you have to play the second note. With a tie, you're holding the first note down for the length of both. Left hand, well, it comes in the second measure. It's 1, 2. It's playing basically the same melody as the right hand at a different time. Until you get to the second line, second measure, you have an E and a G together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, an F and a G. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Get the idea? Okay. Put the hands together. This is the fun part because they're doing different things at different times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you're holding that down. And as I play the G, I lift up here. So now I'm holding that down. Now I lift this up when I play that G. Second line, second measure. These are connected, but these have rests in between them. 1, 2. Well, there's nothing confusing about that, is there? Huh? You take it slow and easy, because I tend to go a little fast in these videos to shorten the video. You just did like second line, second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1. Just hold it down. Rest. Now, third line, first measure. Look out. That half note's going to last 2 counts, and then you go on. There's no silence there yet. In the left hand, you got, and you're done on beat 2. There's nothing. So it's 1, 2. So on beat 2, it's that note by itself. So go back to the last measure, the second line. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, the last measure, the third line. Left hand comes in on beat 3 because that's a half rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The hands are starting to do more and more stuff that's different at the same time. And you'll notice I'm not doing staccatos yet. I don't do any of the articulation when I'm trying to work out the notes and the rhythms and all. I want to connect everything if I can. There's a reason for that. I'll talk about it later when the music gets more involved. Right now, I'm just trying to connect everything. And then once I have that and I get rid of the hesitations, no hesitations. And here I'm not moving around, so I don't need to look at the keyboard. Then I'll add in the articulation. That's the phrasing and the staccatos. And most of the time, the phrasing, you get a rest, so you have to lift up. Here. Then the first measure, the third line, it's here. Lift up, like taking breath. Yeah, put in the phrasing, and the staccatos are short, and hinging at the wrist. Connect this. And then staccato. The idea, add the articulation. And when I'm sort of comfortable with that, then I'll think about the dynamics. The only dynamic they give you is F at the beginning, forte. That applies to the melody. That's the right hand. This is an echo. It's in the background. Huh? We want to hear the right hand throughout. Then once I have that, I'll think about the speed, the tempo. March. It is march. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Left, right, somewhere in there. But it needs to be accurate. No hesitations anywhere. Everything's fine. Otherwise, you're going too fast. Slow it down. Missed it, the last line, first measure. That's a new phrase there too. So when you hear lift up, before you lift up there, it's a new phrase. And then for interpreting it, well, first add the natural accents. Go up to here. That's what go up to here. Here. Bum, 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 bum. We want to feel the natural accents. I'm exaggerating them so you can hear them. You don't force them unless you can't feel them. Then you force them at first. But eventually, you just want to feel them. It's important. Now, at the end, the last two measures here. When you're first learning it, you play it the way it's written. That means that last measure, that note stays down a full beat, but the left hand's done. So it's 1, 2. So it comes on beat 2. 1, 2. But as far as interpreting it goes, you could lift up on both if you wanted to. That's interpretation. We make these little adjustments. As I said, though, when you're first learning it, play it the way it's written. You see, when you change things like this, if you do it on purpose, that's interpretation. If you do it without realizing you're doing it, that's a mistake. That's an error. So learn it the way it's written first. And then if you want to change it later, as interpreting it, that's your choice. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to play both hands about the same. I'm going to do the staccatos, and I'll give us 5 counts. A full 4 counts because there's 4 beats in a measure, and another count because we come in on beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. One, two. Off.